welcome to the program called Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
FFF episode 3361. 3361. It's Mike Matthews somewhere in podCastro Valley.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The last place on earth in the land of Meritopka. We are broadcasting from Café Anyway. Hello. Mike Matthews. I'm singing, and I didn't know that there was people that listen to this podcast. I thought I was doing it and no one was noticing it. Oh wait, that's how it is, I guess. But you know, something that is being noticed are cars.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Supercars. The Bugatti Veyron is the collector world's next big thing.
Mike's
the Bugatti Veyron supercar, with only 450
Podcast.
units built.
Yeah!
Only 450 of them have been built between 2005 and 2015. They are up almost 30% to an average of about, what? They cost almost $2 million each. Newer cars like Bugatti's ABD Lamborghinis are in high demand as vintage Ferraris from the 50s and 60s have gone flat. For all you people that are more interested in those type of cars rather than those fun Hondas and Toyotas. Get one of those. They're reliable. And then there's all the trucks. People got trucks everywhere. A record $500 million worth of classic cars are heading to auction in Monterey. The collector car market undergoing a major generational shift with younger, wealthier buyers. How did all these young people become wealthy? They increasingly chase the Ferrari F40, the Ferrari Enzo, the Porsche Carrera GT, Bugatti, Koenigsegg, and Pagani, rather than the traditional 1950s and 60s classics. So I have some male friends that are into cars.
And here's today's podcast picture.
They also are the type that are into sports. Cars and sports. And then and cigars. Cars, sports, and cigars. And it's a bit, that's a bit out of my periphery. I'm fine, you do that, but has never interested me. Oh, the podcast picture is me. What interests me is cool sites like this wonderful site at this park. It's called the Judge John Sutter Regional Shoreline, I think is what it is. And it is where the old Oakland Bridge used to be before they took it out and put that new nice one. But the old one that had the two levels and one of them, fell out during the earthquake, and the late great Basil the Boxer and I don't think we ever walked around this area, but certainly found some other cool Bay Area shoreline parks to walk at. But see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com, and that is where the Loma Prieta earthquake had destroyed some of that bridge and had to be reconstructed, and then they just tore the whole thing down about 10 years ago and built that brand new thing that you see that has the lights down the middle. Kind of looks like almost like a strange space bridge thing. So some of these poster cars, and yes, these guys that I know that love cars, love cigars, love sports, they got posters of cars. They have doubled or tripled in value, making them
Life grand.
and they think it's so grand. They're happy with it. To them, it's a grand life to have these things. Is the big thing.
Who are you? You're crazy. This is madness.
I'm Mike Matthews, and you can go to mikesdailypodcast.com to see video of this podcast. It's up for only a day, and I use Twitch. And Twitch, I don't know if you heard in the news lately, and by the way, it's twitch.tv/Mike Podcast, because I'm Mike Matthews. That Twitch is doing this thing where they've got AI that's going through all the video and all the creators, and unless you opt out of it, it will record you and it's going to learn off of you. And I've looked through my settings, I cannot find where that is to turn that off. I would very much like not to train AI. When AI first came out, I thought, oh, that'd be fun if I trained it. No. Then I've seen how within about a couple weeks I saw, oh, wow, this isn't something I want to be a part of. I don't want it using parts of me and me not getting compensated. That's just terrible.
Mike's scavenger hunt.
I found in my scavenger hunt that I can't find anywhere to turn off this AI thing. And they even said on the news, in a press release, the people that run Twitch said, oh yeah, well, we don't want to make it easy for the people that make videos to, and there's some millions and millions of video streams every day, and millions and millions and millions and millions of videoers every day, but they don't want you to know, because then you would turn it off. So there's some very sketchy about that. And if I were a lawyer, I would lawyer in the morning, I would lawyer in the evening, all over this land. I'd lawyer out these people that are trying to rip off my image. I'd sue them. That's what I'm saying. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in PodCastro Valley, the last place on earth.
For your entertainment.
For your entertainment.
The one.
And I am
the only.
Mike
Matthews.
But if you would like to see the video, thank you. You go to mikesdailypodcast.com and click on where it says see video of the show here, and it's up of the podcast here. It's only up for a day because I don't see the point of keeping it up much longer, but that's it. So what I'm telling you is, in this strange world where anyone can just suddenly become famous online. And what does that really mean, famous online? You're famous, oh, I've got millions of viewers, millions of subscribers. But are they real people or are they bots? It's very strange because things aren't simple anymore. Back in the day, and I'm old, because only old people say it was simple back in the day. And that's always going to be true. And if you are young, someday you will be old. And my tip to you is,
the Mike tip.
You're going to look back and go, wow, things were simpler. What happened?
Hey, what happened?
Wow, shuts, wow.
And makes you go, wow, shuts, wow, is you have so many folks that are on YouTube, that are on Twitch, that are on Instagram doing their, stories, shorts, I forget. What I do, I do a reel, I think. I do some kind of quick 1 minute thing. What I'm telling you is that, so I've been around long enough. This is the fun thing about being old. So all this looking back, one thing is saying, oh, I remember when times were simpler, when it was just like the 3 network TV channels. And if everyone was watching a channel, then you had like millions and billions of viewers, and it actually meant something because the people would then talk about it around the water cooler the next day. Well, what do people water cooler talk about the next day these days? It's really only sports. Maybe an award show here and there. Maybe they went and saw a movie. Maybe they went and started binge watching some show that some big, and it has to be big streamer puts out there, like Netflix or Disney Plus. So I hear some water cooler talk about the new Marvel, whatever it is, for people that watch Disney Plus, or the new Netflix shows. You know what? I was surprised that I didn't hear that much water cooler talk about Stranger Things, because I thought that was going to be all the rage, and there was very little spoken that I heard. People were like, "Did you actually watch that? Wow!" So back to the interesting news.
The Newsbleed section.
And we're in the Newsbleed section. The fun thing about getting old is you start to see these young people that now have all this power, that are broadcasting, and they're not broadcasting, they're just uploading videos, or they're streaming live is what they're doing, and then people see them and go, oh, and young people are getting their news from these sources more than they are from the regular news sources that have existed for decades and decades. But at some point, those young people, and when you've been around like I have, you see these young people get old. and you see them become irrelevant. But my Myclopedia...
Myclopedia in Sanica.
My Myclopedia in Sanica says it's also weird that when 20 years go by and people that had kids 20 years ago, now their kids are grown up. So
Matthews News.
Back to the Mike Matthews News. As I went on that weird Elton John song from The Lion King tangent, Circle of Life. Speaking of big movie companies, Paramount CEO David Ellison is reportedly considering moving Paramount's headquarters out of California if the state does not settle its legal fight over the company's proposed $110 billion Warner Brothers Discovery deal. As you know, Paramount wanted to buy Warner Brothers. Ellison reportedly believes moving could save Paramount roughly $500 million a year in taxes. So they're going to try that out and get out of California and our wonderful weather. Hey, it's a DJ.
Oh, not that kind of bee sting, luckily.
No bee stings.
This one is by the Wombats. And as always, you are listening to KCRH 89.9 FM, the East Bay's best variety.
Yeah, it's a college station.
And hey, we have a request. The request is from Mike from Castro Valley. He's requesting Talk to You Later by The Tubes. So let's go ahead and play that. Here is Talk to You Later by The Tubes.
Thanks, Chris. She won't even miss me when she's gone. That's all right for me, my love carries on. Speaking of more movie stuff, it's officially the biggest summer of the box office since before COVID. Thanks to blockbusters like The Odyssey and Spider-Man Brand New Day, as well as breakouts like Backrooms and Obsession, those last two YouTube creators had an instrumental part in creating. The previous two, Odyssey and Spider-Man, well, those are big movie studio stuff. Domestic revenues for popcorn season reached $4 billion, according to Rob Black. I produce his podcast. He's heard on AM 1220 KDOW weekdays in the 5 p.m. hour, and he's on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 a.m. hour. Continuing our news random. It appears when Barbenheimer fever propelled ticket sales to over $4 billion. 2023 was the last time that happened. But this season, domestic revenues have reached about that much. Just a few years ago, when the market believed that theatrical moviegoing would be replaced by small screen entertainment, Spider-Man Brand New Day is the highest grossing movie. Let me say that again, because I just can't believe what I just said. Spider-Man Brand New Day is the highest grossing movie. I don't know if they mean that for the summer, but with $1.67 billion globally, Odyssey just behind it with $1.1 billion worldwide. Then there comes behind those two Toy Story 5. That cracked $1 billion as well. And The Devil Wears Prada helped out. The End of Oak Street and Insidious, Out of the Further, are going to close out the summer. Still those movies coming out. And he had... Oh, yeah. There was the movie Michael, too. Cracked $1 billion as well. Okay. I don't go to movie theaters anymore.
It's a nightmare of a show.
It's a nightmare of a show to go to a movie theater and deal with people talking, and it's so expensive and it smells like popcorn. I can only take so much of that. My work smells like popcorn. They decided to get microwavable popcorn and have that readily available. And I don't even work for Google. I was very pleased when that started happening. But now I eat too much popcorn. But hey, there's a lot of fiber in there. Do you know that U.S. rents were down a little over 1% over the past year? Down a little bit. Rent, if you're renting, which, hey, there ain't no shame in renting. When you own a house, you're on the hook for everything. The 38th consecutive month with a decline. Renting a home is cheaper than paying a mortgage. Yes, renting a home is actually cheaper than paying a mortgage in all 50 states. In all 50 of the largest metro areas in the U.S. Not in all 50 states, but in the largest metro areas in the U.S. I shall stand corrected. The Bay Area is basically the opposite story.
First of all, I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
Thank you for joining us on this show. Yes. Very nice. We have someone listening. Woo! What? Oh. It says here but however, the Bay Area is basically the opposite, as rents are up almost 20%. The national rental market is saying there's too much apartment supply. And you know what they mean when they say that? What they're saying is supply and demand. If there's a lot of supply, there's not as much demand, and then prices go down. San Francisco is saying we have too many high-income people chasing too few apartments. So, hey, don't move here, basically. Don't move to the Bay Area. And that's why a lot of people live in tents in very strange places wherever you go. And I'm finding out from the cleaning ladies at work that, oh, yeah, you know where we keep the rubbish, where we keep the trash, and there's a little roof over it? We find people living in there and doing things in there and leaving things behind, let's just say, that don't know.
Whine. Well, I like
me whining.
The whiny white man whineless.
I'm whining a little bit about that. I really can't. I'm not going to do a podcast on Monday because it's a big, huge day that I need to take off in honor of. It is National Waffle Day, when Cornelius Swarthout of Troy, New York, received the first U.S. patent for a waffle iron, a device that standardized the griddled breakfast bread that Belgian immigrants like Hercule Poirot had been making for centuries. It's also...
You bum, you louse, you good for nothing.
Insults.
Answer the phone. What do you do all day?
Oh, okay. If you would like to call me, the number to call... This is the number. Area code 510-228-4640. 510-228-4640. It's also the beginning of Burning Man, which I've never been to. And at this point, I'm thinking, nah, not that interested. It is also International Strange Music Day. What? What on earth? Why? International Strange Music Day was created by Patrick Grant, a New York City musician and composer. The aim of the celebration was to get people to play and listen to types of music that they had not heard before. Grant believed that something as simple as broadcasting and broadening our musical taste can also make us broad-minded and more accepting of others. He follows the mantra, listening without prejudice. Grant also picked the day to promote his new album, Fields Amaze. This was in the late 90s. It was a way to honor his girlfriend's father and his mentor, artistic mentor, on his birthday. By 2002, the day had become an international phenomenon with various artists and venues. This growing movement is now attached to concerts, hosts a record label, and gains popular support from summer schools. The day is also appreciated as a great way to stimulate young minds so that they can become more than just influencers and create wonderful music and not be these record company cloning devices. In 2012, the celebrations took a new direction when Grant challenged the musicians of New York City to participate in an International Strange Music Day performance soiree. A soiree, and soiree does not get used as much as it should. A number of strange bands and musicians, such as the Dreamscape Floppies, and many more participated in the soiree, and it turned out to be a huge success. Since then, other events have been hosted in honor of the day in New York City, along with other towns and cities all around the country. The University of London also has a grand celebration of the day with events, competitions, sing-alongs, and band performances. And that all from nationaltoday.com.
The Wall Street Journal had a piece about the veteran podcasters hanging up their headphones.
Podcasters!
Podcasts can run forever, but some hosts are bowing out or changing direction.
What?
as celebrities and YouTube dominate the industry.
As far as I know, 20 years ago, it's the same thing.
Yeah, no,
celebrities, comedians, YouTube.
Yeah, it's all these duos. Like, well, we're hanging out. We're not going to do it anymore. We've been doing it for 7 years. We're going to do something else. And they blame it on YouTube. But that's not the problem. All of these podcasts that they mention are all guest-driven.
Guest-driven.
Oh, yeah.
And so what they're noticing is that when people have a choice to go on different podcasts, they can only do so many.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you base your podcast on your guest, which can make for a very successful podcast depending on your guest.
Mm-hmm.
You get the Kelsey brothers or anything, but the Kelsey brothers I already did 8 podcasts this month.
They're tired.
I'm done. It's okay.
Marrying pop
and
stars.
That's why they're hanging up their headphones. So we're just going to keep on trucking, baby.
That's right.
No one can stop this train.
I will do the same.
Guests, the whole idea of using them was a hindrance, and we both had a laundry list of reasons for that.
Yes. And
they don't show up.
They're
dull.
Case in point, I've been on Rogan 6 times. There's got to be a deficit of guests.
You've been on 6 times?
6 times, yeah.
There's a deficit of guests.
Oh, that's John C. Dvorak saying a deficit of guests. And sadly, we lost him recently. But Adam Curry, who you heard also in that clip, he says that he's going to keep his podcast going despite the loss of his good friend. And he's got some more folks. He's apparently got a huge support system. He gets a lot of money. He gets money donated to his podcast. What a concept! That does not happen here, everybody. I am surprised that there's anybody listening and that I can say everybody. But hey, another John that we lost, but we lost him years and years ago in 1992, John Cage. He was an American composer, music theorist, artist, and philosopher, a pioneer of interdeterminacy in music, electroacoustic music, and non-standard use of musical instruments. He's a central figure in the post-war avant-garde music scene. His most famous work was called 4 minutes 33 seconds, performed in the absence of deliberate sound, challenged the very definition of music, making him an icon of strange music and experimental art. Thus, International Strange Music Day, and thus I will be taking the day off for that. But we'll be back again the day after. Oh, yeah, and Pluto. There's a special Pluto Day, but it's not Pluto Day. It's Pluto Demoted Day. Pluto Demoted Day is the day, and that commemorates the 2006 decision by the International Astronomical Union to reclassify Pluto as a dwarf planet. It invites us to delve into planetary science, and it makes me want to sing a song about it.
What's the cliche of the week?
The cliche is...
What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week?
Pluto?
What's the cliche of the week?
It's not a cliche. Pluto was discovered in 1930. Yeah, that recent. It's not even been 100 years since it was first discovered. The astronomer Clyde Tombaugh, making it the 9th planet in our solar system. It is a cold planet that exists outside the orbit of Neptune. Lowell Observatory had over 1,000 suggestions for what to name the newly found planet. The winner was Pluto, named after the Roman god of the underworld. In 1992, questions arose around Pluto's legitimacy as a planet after the discovery of large objects in its region, including one that actually had a larger mass than Pluto itself. So in 2006, the IAU, International Astronomical Union, settled on a definition for planet, which ultimately excluded Pluto. And from that point forward, it's been known as a dwarf planet. So the cliche is Pluto. Oh, Pluto. Don't be a cliche. Didn't Neil deGrasse Tyson have something to do with all of that? Anyway, so for all that, Café Anyway, maybe that's the cliche for today. We will Not National Knife Day, too. Because you need those, especially if you do what I do this time of year and chop up a bunch of apples and make them in a delicious apple cobbler. Not Peach Pie Day, which is what we're also celebrating, but yeah, apples. And look who's here. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Wow, so like when you get older, you suddenly realize that people that were younger that thought they knew everything, they actually look stupid, Mike Matthews. That's right. That's what I'm saying. The older you get, the more that you see that people that are younger, when they get older, they turn around and they go, what was I saying when I was younger? Basically. I guess we all do that at some point. But these days, see, young people, they got so much more power because they can just click on it. They don't need it. So in my day, when I said, hey, I want to talk on the radio, I want to be a radio person, I had to go through a whole process. I had to get hired. I had to do crappy hours. I had to wait and wait till somebody left the company and whatever, and finally, eventually got a slot like on the overnight. These days, people just click a button. Just click a button and suddenly you're videoing yourself. You're going live on Twitch and you become this huge star. Then you say outlandish things because you're like, oh my gosh, I think that the whole world should be utopic. And where does the money come from? It just comes, we'll just steal it from billionaires because that's where the money is. Just go where the billionaires are and steal their money. And we say things like corporate greed and all that, and everyone agrees with us, and we go with big torches and pitchforks and go get the money from them, is what we do. Mike Matthews, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going on a very light tangent there. What do you got there?
Chely Shoehart and her exploding snow globes.
Yeah, Mike Matthews, a lot of snow globes that people will really enjoy if they take them home and then they don't give them to their friends, because if they did, that would be communism. We don't believe in that, Mike Matthews. We don't? At Café Anyway, outside? Because there are other people here? Look.
Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman!
And this is John Deere, the engineer, Mike. I think this is all getting a little bit political, and maybe we should talk about something lighter.
Oh, my gosh!
The bottom of the chart.
Pretty good songs that never made it on the radio because people didn't think they were worth it. But you know what? They come back up, and people start playing them, and it's like, where'd that come from?
All right, so a band that was at the top of the charts with a song called Kyrie and their other one, Take These Broken Wings. That would be the band Mr. Mister. Richard Page was in another band. And, I guess this should be a band's mutations.
Band's mutations. Mutations.
And I must say that it does kind of fit bottom of the charts because the songs from this album never got that popular. But yeah, Richard Page from Mr. Mister started a band with the guy who was in a band called Toy Matinee, Patrick Leonard, who produced a lot of big songs for Madonna, Brian Ferry, and co-wrote some huge hits in the 80s. And Patrick Leonard actually lived next door to my dad for a while in Studio City because Olivia D'Abo lived next door to my dad. And, well, she lived next to my dad. Isn't that weird? Yeah, I never met her, but I heard that I did talk to the mom on the phone of Olivia D'Abo because she wanted my dad's house after he passed away. It is a crazy story. But here's the thing. Patrick Leonard and Richard Page had a great band called Third Matinee. And I don't know if you can find that on YouTube or anything, but gosh, if you liked Mr. Mister, Third Matinee is pretty close to it and very cool. All right, that's all I have. What do you think about all that? Here's the number to call.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640. Will you shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Foam for All.
We knew they didn't have time to count because we stood there and watched every single person arrive in Ventura County.
And with all things having to do with Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame. Thank you for listening to Mike's Daily Podcast. Woo!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.